Welcome, everybody, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 707. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212. I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
Hello, everyone.
All right. So we saw the Girl Who Died episode. It's the fifth episode so far, Doctor Who, Series 9. What did you think of it, Chris?
I loved this episode.
Okay.
I really liked it. Again, Peter Capaldi knocked it out of the park. He knocked it out of the park again. Clara, I felt was good in this episode. She didn't do a lot, but she felt like a companion. She wasn't like over. There's one thing about this episode I did not like.
Okay.
I'm really disappointed in it.
All right. So before you get into the why, I'm going to say that I did like the episode 2 a lot better than the other two that came before, Under the Lake, Before the Flood. I definitely liked it way better. I love the character Maisie Williams was playing. I did like it that we got to see a flashback clip of David Tennant and Catherine Tate from Fires of Pompeii. I did like that dialogue. I like the dialogue that he's slowly revealing, I guess, that he knows she's going to die, Clara, without like flat out saying it, and like saying what he's going to go through when it happens and all this stuff. And he's starting to get a little, I guess it's getting close. I thought that the guy Odin was like, stupid. I thought that those aliens were cool, those things, but you get the impression that maybe they'll be part of the finale, because when they do return, it'll probably be 2015. And they may, what I'm gathering is that maybe Clara will die and they'll use that ship to make her live forever.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think too. Yep.
And I don't know if I'm happy with that, because, is she going to have no memory? Is going to whatever? I mean, basically they explained that's probably what's going to happen with Clara. And that's just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy with that resolution for the finale. I really hope that's not the case. But why don't you just continue on with more what you have to say about the episode?
Yeah, I liked Maisie Williams. I like the fact that she seems to be a new character and not someone that's returning.
Right.
As far as we know. I really think that she was interesting, and I'd like to hear more about her, because I think there was a lot to her character that wasn't explored in this episode.
Right.
But I like the creatures. The Odin guy, to me, I was like, eh.
Yeah, me too.
The aliens were cool.
Right.
The resolution, I was like, yeah, no, why not? To the episode. But the one thing that really bothered me about this episode, and I really hope that this isn't the end of this explanation, was I loved the flashback. I literally, like, my jaw dropped.
I love that too.
I threw my hand over my face, but there was something about it that I was just like, that's why he regenerated into Peter Capaldi.
Well, that's what I said too. I'm like,
that's it. That's the reason to remind himself to save people, or to
bend the rules, basically.
Yeah. I said, I don't think he needs to regenerate to remember to do that. I hope that's not the end of the reason why he did it. But
right.
To me, I feel like that's what they're going to go with. They're going to be like, he regenerated to remember to bend the rules of time. And to me, that's like, it's so bland. It's like,
yeah, it is.
Why?
You built up for like this whole thing, and it's like, oh yeah, just to save people. And bend time. That would be a horrible reason behind it. I mean, it would be the biggest letdown in history, because I would be looking for other things. You know the way we are. Like we build. I mean, the thing is, sometimes we do build things with high expectations, and then the answer is kind of like lays flat. Like, oh, yeah. Because when you think about it, the 11th Doctor did not want to grow old. He did not want to look old. He had no intention of choosing a regeneration to be old. Especially when he was talking to Clara, he's like, "Don't please tell me I'm not going to be old," right?
Yeah.
Like, why would you choose it then? Like that, he never has that. Like, I really don't think he chose it. I don't, and if they say he did chose it, I have a massive problem with that because that's the whole thing with regeneration. He's not like other Time Lords. He has no control over it.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
For some reason, he gets sick, and other Time Lords don't get sick. Okay, and that's the whole point, that he's different than other Time Lords, where maybe he didn't study that in school. He just gets, the sick or whatever, has amnesia or whatever, has a harder time adjusting to regeneration than, let's say, anybody else. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing I have a problem with.
You know what it was? You know what it was? I didn't mean to cut you off, but you know what it was? I'm trying to think, like, what in the moments before Matt Smith regenerated would make him say, I'm going to regenerate into that guy I met in Pompeii, so I remember to bend the rules of time to save people.
Right.
Like, what made him in those few seconds say, I need to regenerate into that man I met in Pompeii? Because I have to.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand where that came from, or what it is. I really, like I said, I really hope that this isn't the explanation for why he regenerated to look like this. But,
yeah, I'm praying it's not. Hey, Daniel, how you doing, sir?
Hi, what's up? Yeah, I just saw. I saw it. I saw the girl who died. It was a good episode. Really good.
I liked it, man. I'm gonna give it an 8.
same here. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8, unlike the other rating I give the other ones. But I did enjoy this. Again, I'm a little worried with, and here's the thing too. That episode wasn't completely that guy's episode. Moffat was part of that, which you could tell because the whole thing with the phase. I mean, Moffat wrote a little bit about the episode.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned. I mean, I didn't see Clara in the next episode. Not sure what that's about.
Well, I mean, this seems like a trend with these last few seasons of Doctor Who. It's like they start something and it's like, oh, that's really interesting. What is it going to be? And then they say, well, this is what it is. And it's like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Right. Well, you know what? It's a thing about choosing the face, right? Now, you got the impression with the Ninth Doctor that he wanted to be younger. And he regenerated to David Tennant. Now, technically, if you think about it, Rose Tyler met David Tennant in, the end of time. She absorbed the time vortex. The Doctor absorbed her. He probably absorbed the memory because he was bonded with her, of her seeing that guy, and maybe he regenerated into himself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the thing. Because there was somebody put an article out today or the other day about the Doctor regenerated into himself because he saw himself. Like,
I read that article. I read that.
First Doctor, right? The first Doctor saw the second Doctor, third Doctor, fourth Doctor, fifth Doctor, or whatever. So that's why you generate into that. Then they're saying that I mean, the 10th Doctor saw the 11th Doctor, so that's why he regenerated into Matt Smith's Doctor. And I mean, he the 10th Doctor also saw Peter Capaldi, so the Cecilius. So that's why he regenerated into that. In a way, it sounds cool, but I really hope that's not the case. Because, again, I like to believe that he has no control over it whatsoever. And that the only person that had control over it was the Time Lords, because the Time Lords said that, they gave him an option to choose the face when he was the second Doctor, regenerating to the third, and he refused, and they chose it for him. So I would like to believe that the Time Lords put that in him to show it's okay. We're telling you can bend time. See, that would be a better thing.
Yeah.
If they chose it, not him. Because they're saying, hey, you could bend time, we'll allow it.
Hey. The Master chose his own face.
Yes, the Master chose his own face, but the Doctor is different from the Master. The Doctor always had a problem with regenerating. The master never had to. Then the master never got sick after regenerate. The master was just, he regenerated into Harold Saxon. He's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's like the doctor regenerates, he gets sick. Like Christmas Invasion, he's in the bed. Matt Smith was sick in 11th hour. Like he felt like it was rejecting it.
David Tennant held it in so long that he just exploded the whole target.
No, but if you watch the classic series, the second Doctor and the third Doctor, he was in the hospital, and then he had a little amnesia. And then the fourth Doctor, his regeneration was off a little bit, but he was okay. But the fifth Doctor had to use the Zero Room to stabilize regeneration, and then he had to use Castrovalva. The sixth Doctor was choking Perry because he went a little crazy because of regeneration. So even Sylvester McCoy's seventh Doctor was a little off because the Ronnie was able to pose as Melanie, his companion, and Mel's, not Mel, well, whatever, Melanie Bush, whatever the character's name is, Melanie Bush. And he didn't know it because his memory screwed up. But every Doctor, even the eighth Doctor, when he awoke, he had amnesia. The Doctor just cannot regenerate like everybody else can. Okay, he has a problem with it. River Song was able to regenerate with no problem.
Right.
Not affect her. The Master, the Ronnie. I mean, nobody had a problem with regenerating but the Doctor. And there's got to be a reason behind it. Okay? But for all of a sudden say that that's just over with, and now he chooses his faith, I have a problem with that. Because that's been a running storyline since it started. So, what about you?
I just don't understand. I just don't understand. It's almost like the Doctor knew he would be in this very situation, and he's like, "Oh, I better regenerate like that, so I know that it's okay to do this." Like
that's terrible.
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense, and it's a terrible, terrible resolution to why he chose. Like he shouldn't. As far as I'm concerned, he didn't choose it because even the 11th Doctor said, "Oh, please tell me I'm not going to be old." He didn't want that. So how could you say that he wanted to choose that? And then Vastra tried to explain it. Oh, he chose to be old because he trusted you. That's baloney too. So, what, Daniel?
Yeah.
What did you like about the episode, bro? Because I want to get your opinion about the episode deeply. So,
I like the Vikings. I like the whole thing with Odin, and I thought it was pretty cool. And yeah, I especially like the ending part where he saved her, but that technology thing will always be inside her, and it'll keep on fixing her body.
Right. The thing is, I mean, they're trying to make basically another Captain Jack.
Yeah.
Like he's making his own Captain Jack that he could just be totally his without sharing it with Russell T Davies. That's the point. Captain Jack was created by Russell T Davies and Stephen Moffat together. But in this case,
Mm-hmm.
In this case, that's he has total control of Maisie Williams' character. So
it's cool. I mean, so she's pretty much immortal now.
Yeah, he said that she's functionally immortal, but she could still be killed by like an accident or something.
Oh, that's cool. So that alien race has the power of immortality, because if she could do that, then they all could.
I guess. I mean, see, that's the thing. I don't want to believe that an alien race like that could just be immortal like that for no reason, because why wouldn't Davros use that?
Well, maybe like, how that he said that was their medical kit. Maybe their bodies require some sort of, like, maybe their bodies require something that the medical kit has that when used for humans, it makes them immortal. Like maybe this species goes through so much trauma on the battlefield that their bodies need some sort of heavy regeneration or something, whereas humans don't go through something like that every day. We just go through like a small medical emergency compared to these species that need something so powerful to help them stay alive. Whereas us, the worst thing we do, maybe we get into a car accident, we fall, this medical kit could like fix those problems to where it looks like that person is immortal or something like that.
Right. What about the fact that, like, we got the impression that Maisie Williams' character was somebody that he knew, and they were playing this game like they know each other, but they're like dancing around, like talking in code.
Yeah.
Like,
well, look at when she picked up the Sonic sunglasses.
right.
She looked at them like, I've got some of your technology or something. I saw that and I was like, is she a villain? Because it looks like she's like, haha, I got.
But at the end, she got pissed off.
Yeah.
Because he allowed her that she can't die. Now she's witnessing everybody die.
Yeah.
So she don't want that. So now she looks like she's gonna, like Moffat said, give him hell, basically.
Oh, she was pissed off?
Yeah, she looked pissed off. All right, I want to bring up a thing about, because my son in the background's texting me, and I can't do the podcast with him texting me. So, Joe, basically,
You're pissing me off because you're saying the wrong stuff.
no, I'm not saying the wrong stuff. Okay, I brought up the thing about Vastra, right? Vastra basically told Clara that he didn't have to be young anymore, so he chose to be what he should be.
He didn't choose to be old. He didn't choose to be old.
No, it's not that he regenerated in front of her. You got it all wrong.
You got it wrong.
He regenerates in front of his companions all the time.
He chooses to because he trusts them.
No, that's not what Vastra meant.
Yes, it is.
Chris.
I watched the episode. I watched it 4 times.
Didn't Vastra tell, because Clara had a problem with him being old, right?
At first, yeah.
Right. And didn't Vastra tell her that he feels comfortable with Clara where he don't have to be young anymore?
It's not the fact that he's
I hate to do this, but no, that's not what she said.
What did she say, basically?
She said he chose to regenerate in front of you because he looks to you as someone he can trust.
Right.
However, she did say, oh, you don't like him anymore because he's not your dashing young hero. But he never was that. He looked like that, but he's been around for so long that.
So she didn't insinuate basically. She didn't insinuate basically that he didn't feel like he had to be young and he just regenerated old. That's what you're saying. That wasn't.
She said he's older now, but then again, he's always been this ancient.
He's always been this age, right?
The skin reflects it now.
Okay, my bad.
See?
All right, well, my bad. That's my interpretation of it, though.
But still, even so, that doesn't answer what we saw in this episode tonight.
Right, it didn't answer it.
He didn't choose to be old. He regenerated, he was old, and now they're saying he chose that for a really stupid reason.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't think he would choose his face to remind himself he could bend the rules, because Matt Smith friggin' bent the rules how many different times? With the exception of the one time he didn't want to bend it with Angels Take Manhattan. So why would he have to remind himself to bend the rules when he always bends the rules?
Unless he chose to be old after he took that phone call, or he made that phone call.
Oh, because he heard from Clara that I don't want to be gray. Please tell me I'm not old. And then he becomes old because he heard that he's old.
Then he regenerated. But that still doesn't make sense as to why he chose Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, I know.
To any older doctor. So, like...
What?
He just said when he became old.
Huh?
Oh, my God.
Joe, I'm trying to do a podcast. What?
I'm talking to you right here.
What?
Come on, reminding himself.
Yeah.
That he has to save people. It's not just the fact of being old.
But he doesn't have to remind himself. He saves people constantly. That's what I don't understand. He always saves people.
But the last episode, he just like...
Waters and Mars.
But last episode, he just let somebody die and he didn't even care. He just tested his theory. That's what he's reminding himself.
And wasn't that a bad thing, though? Like right before he saved Donna's grandfather.
Right.
He was like, oh, I've lived too long.
Right, he saved Donna's grandfather.
He's doing things he shouldn't be doing.
Right.
So, like, are they trying to say that that Capaldi is the embodiment of the 10th Doctor's rage or something like that?
I don't even know what they're saying because, again, like, this whole reasoning behind why he chose the face doesn't make any sense, and he shouldn't be able to choose his face because he always had a problem with regeneration. I don't understand it myself. I don't understand why he always breaks the rules. Why would he have to put his face on like that?
I mean, they said that there would be a point where he could regenerate so well that he could regenerate back into older Doctor.
Right. Eventually, he's going to have the ability to become David Tennant, all these other people again because he's so good at it.
Yeah. But he didn't do anything to get that good at it yet. So, like, what?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Moffat. What? I don't know. I really don't understand. I mean, just to say that he could save people, I mean, that's stupid. He knows he could save people. He knows he's done crazy. Like River Song, in other words, David Tennant, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't accept that River Song was dead. He went and saw us in the library as far as dead. He put her in the thing and put her in the library, right?
Right.
So for some reason, it seems like everything's going back to David Tennant. On the one hand, David Tennant broke the rules. But then on the other hand, when he broke the rules with Waters of Mars, he screwed stuff up so bad that he was responsible for this lady killing herself. So then he's like, I can't break the rules anymore. So then what are you trying to tell yourself, basically? That's what I don't understand. You think, I mean, I don't have that figured out.
This is the whole embodiment of that whole the Time Lord victorious thing. Like, he can do whatever he wants and there's nobody to stop him. But that was a bad thing. Now they're like, oh no, it's an okay thing. It's a good thing that he
I'm confused by Moffat. That's basically it. I don't understand.
Unless Moffat is like, this is just the beginning of the explanation, you're going to get more with the season finale. But I feel like we're not. I feel like this was the answer, and oh well. Like that's what it feels like to me. And I hope
I hope not. But now, did they reveal that he chose his face or not?
Well, I mean, he said, I know why I chose it. So did he lie? I don't know.
What?
I really
I can't hear you with the headphones on. No.
He didn't choose.
Joe, you could come on the podcast and talk about it, but I can't talk to you because I can't hear you with the headphones on.
Where is it on?
You want to come on? All right.
Where is it on?
I'm going to invite Joe. Hold on a second. Daniel, talk about the episode.
It was good. It was good. How it started, it was pretty interesting when he said something like you can't I'm not coming with you because I have more advanced technology than you, and then remember when he took the glasses off and snapped them, and then he was like, we're going with the Vikings.
That was fantastic.
That was funny. And then the whole thing. The whole thing when he went with the Vikings, and then Odin appeared in the sky, and then he pretended to be a god by throwing a yo-yo around because he's like, oh, they're going to be afraid of this because advanced technology is like, it seems like magic, Yeah. And he's like, I am Odin, and he's like, he has a yo-yo, and that was kind of funny too.
It was funny how Clara was trying to talk them down, and then Maisie Williams was like, no, we're going to war.
Yeah, that was cool. So, and also I really liked the whole, the explanation thing, as you said, the explanation thing.
Yeah.
Like he chose that face so it can remind him that he can break the rules because he kind of broke the rules at Pompeii, I suppose. So yeah. I guess, yeah. I was okay with that, really. I liked the flashback to Kekilius and Tenet.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a really good. I wasn't expecting that. That was really cool.
I just hope there's more to it than that because it feels like there should be more to it than that.
Yeah, there has to be.
There has to be. Where Joe's going to come in, so we're waiting for him to come in because he wants.
Yeah, they showed it. They showed. I mean, how did you like it, Joe? That flashback of Tenet and
I loved that. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was great. Fantastic. That's so cool that they did that. So cool. I'm telling you, that was a highlight, man. That was a highlight because people weren't expecting that, And it's like of all episodes, they're going to do it here,
Yeah, this further strengthens the rumor that David Tennant will come back for the 12th episode because whenever they show a flashback of something, they usually means not all the time, but it usually means they're going to bring that person back in some form.
Like, in other words, they'll have David Tennant in the finale to say why he chose the face, but or whatever it is. Yeah. All right, Joe's in. You think who's coming in? Let's see. Hold on. You in, Joe?
Yes.
You're muted. Hold on.
That's
Okay.
why I'm muted though. So you're gonna hear your voice. It's gonna be an echo.
Well, if you go over there.
It's gonna be the same thing.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, Joe. So, what you got to say?
Well,
You're muted again.
what's happening over there?
But they can't hear you.
Yes, they can.
Could you hear him?
I can hear myself.
Yeah,
Barely or not?
I can hear pretty well.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
So what am I supposed to say?
Well, what do you want to say? Say what you got to say.
Well, first, he didn't choose the face.
Okay. That would be a good thing if the doctor didn't choose the face.
He didn't though.
Okay, that would be good. The Time Lords were hoping that somebody chose the face other than the doctor.
He's just reminding himself. It's not like the face. It's just.
No, but so in other words, he said he had to remind himself that he has to save people, but he didn't choose a face. It just became that face.
Yeah. Basically. I mean, you can't choose it, but like.
So I don't know. I just. So in other words, he said in his subconsciously that he had to find a way to remind himself, and it just boom that he became curious.
Yeah, because that's like the first person he broke the rules with.
Right. Well,
Exactly. Boom.
the first person he broke the rules with.
Yeah.
So, but he always breaks the rules. So why would he have to remind himself?
That's the first person he did it with. That's why it was just such a big thing back then.
Right.
That's why it was like shiny through the hardest thorns. And
So, but the thing is, why would that come in his head in Trenzalore? Like, to tell his next incarnation to break the rules?
Not to break the rules, but like.
But what was the purpose behind it? Like, why is he thinking about that in Trenzalore? Like, I'm going to choose this face, but why? Why you think the next incarnation is going to be like play it safe? I mean, what? Like,
Maybe because this was like a regeneration that wasn't even supposed to happen. That rule was broken. Now I can break all the rules now. I don't know.
in other words, okay, so, but that was a good rule that he broke because he saved Kikili's
Right.
family.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to say that sometimes he can break the rules?
I guess, but I don't understand why he would choose a whole face because of that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. There's got to be another reason why he did it, because what's the point? Like, there's really no point to it.
Right, I mean, we want an explanation. I mean, Matt Smith broke the rules all the time, so what the hell, you know? I mean, look what he did in Day of the Doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
He totally broke the rules by protecting Gallifrey, saving Gallifrey, all that stuff. So why would he need to remind himself to do that?
Matt Smith broke the rules because he had to, most of the time.
What? By accident?
Because he had to.
Okay, but I still don't understand why he has to remind himself when he's been breaking the rules since David Tennant. Why would he have to remind himself one more time? That's the point. Like, you can't just... When you create a story like that, like a plot that he's reusing a face, then there's got to be a good enough explanation, because then, again, right, Chris, it falls flat.
It does. Like, a lot of things, like, again, I always cite this, but, like, Clara not finding Danny Pink, the Doctor not finding Gallifrey. And then they tell each other that, oh, I'm with Danny Pink, oh, I found Gallifrey. And then 2 lines in the Christmas special. I never found Danny, I didn't find Gallifrey. Why did you do it in the first place?
Right.
Why would you? That could have been a huge storyline. Moffat introducing Melody. And in the first episode, she turns good. What was the point of all the episodes before the series split? We thought she was going to be a big villain.
Right.
A lot of things, and I'm not blaming Moffat directly. I'm just saying it seems like when he starts something really big and then he just goes, it'll just be this.
Yeah, I'm going to change it.
Yeah, it did.
Like, I'm going to have Amy and the doctor have a romance, and then, let's stick with Rory, be Rory.
Yeah.
Like, you want, it's like going in one direction, like they get in, like, close, like that, and then it pulls away. Just like the River Song to be a supervillain, he pulls that away.
Another thing, who was in the doctor's hotel room in the God Complex? It was just a crack in the wall.
Which I don't believe that for 1 minute. I flat out thought it was the Valyard thing.
Yes.
I said that he sees himself, that a companion dies, he regenerates, and his biggest fear is that he becomes the opposite of what he is, where instead of saving people, he's killing people, he's evil, and there's nobody to stop him because he's his own worst enemy, and the TARDIS is crying with the cloister bell, boom, like, oh my God, who's going to stop him now? Nobody.
Unless that's what this is leading to. Like, he's just going to keep breaking rule.
Until he becomes the Valyard.
Rule until something happens that's so catastrophic.
That's what he said last episode.
What?
He's just said last episode, he's like, I'm going to save Clara and nobody's going to stop me, and then TARDIS just stops him.
Right. But the thing is, I'm telling you, this could be building up to the Valyard. The Valyard, in case you didn't know, I tell you all the time, the Doctor's going to be the Valyard. Sometime between the 12th and final incarnation, he turns evil, and he just goes back in time and tries to screw with everything. And he tries to, like, hurt himself as the Sixth Doctor. That's how much he hates himself.
That would have made sense to be, like you said, to be who he saw in the hotel. Because the Sixth Doctor now knows, I'm going to become that one day.
Right.
And that becomes his worst fear. And then if he sees that in the hotel room, it's like, yeah, that would be his worst fear because he wants to save people. And there's an incarnation of him that is totally opposite. Like, I'm going to kill everybody.
Right. See, like, the thing, like, the biggest problem I had with the War Doctor was, like the excuse, I'm just not going to be the Doctor. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So now that's like the Valyard type of thing. But now you just ruined the Valyard thing because you made the War Doctor. But the War Doctor is still good, but he's just not the Doctor. He just kills and whatever, right?
And I don't even think the War Doctor seems that bad. He still seems like the Doctor, just in a really bad situation.
Correct.
So
I mean, like, you got to listen. Every time the Doctor regenerates, they got to stop this nonsense with the storyline. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. How many times did you repeat that?
Right.
Okay. We had the situation where the Doctor's like 4 times, I'm gonna die. Right. Then you repeated the same storyline with Matt Smith, where you're like, oh my God, I die at Lake Silencio, whatever. The impossible. River's gonna shoot me, and then. Not only did they did it twice, but they did it with Trenzalore. So you had 2 instances where the 11th Doctor was like, I'm going to die. 2 instances. 2 major storylines. 1 with David Tennant, 2 with Matt Smith. Now you have a thing with Peter Capaldi's, 12th Doctor, Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar, I'm going to die. Then you do it again, where you're like, I'm going to die in, before the, under the lake, before the flood. That's two for Capaldi. So, like, let's just stop having storylines where the Doctor thinks he's going to die, and let's just progress with other storylines.
I never take storylines where the Doctor is going to die seriously because I'm like, he's just going to regenerate.
How many times are you going to do that storyline? Right. But the thing is, though, the point is, why isn't there some point of the Doctor where he's like, has that memory of, oh my God, if that's like my biggest fear is turning evil and hurting the people I love.
Yeah.
He just, something happens in the regeneration. He totally becomes dark, where he doesn't even have any love or anything, and he actually just goes after the people that he cares about.
Yeah.
Because, again, with the regeneration, right, it can get to a point where you regenerate so much that you lose who you are, and you could be a villain. So that's what the storyline should be, is that he's afraid to break the rules, because the more he breaks the rules, the closer he is to Time Lord Victorious, which is almost one step under the Valyard. So maybe he chose the face to remind himself not to break the rules.
But then he just broke the rules. Unless that's like what you said before, unless the 10th Doctor is going to say, in the finale, is going to say, don't do it. It's you're going to become, what you're going to become. but you can choose not to become that.
Like, in other words, when he's regenerating, there's like a couple of nanoseconds where he's all himself at once.
Yeah.
And like the 10th Doctor is the dominant thing to choose the next regeneration, you know? So it's like, so that's why it would make sense to put David Tennant in the finale where he's talking to himself. And he's like, this is why I chose for you, for me, for us, I chose Kekilius, you know? But again, it's going to get really confusing because they're going to be like, well, why couldn't Matt Smith choose? Like, I mean, he's the same person, you know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be like really, again, it's an exciting episode just from those couple of lines that we got. I mean, I love, you know what, I think I'm going to rate it to 8.5 just for that.
See, yeah, it wasn't a problem with the episode.
The girl
problem
who died.
with the overarching story within the episode.
I know. I mean, it was a little silly with it. Yeah, but I liked it, man.
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it at 8. I'm not gonna make it 8.5 because that one thing. But next episode, I'm wondering where Clara is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Daniel.
Yep.
Okay, so Daniel, are you familiar with the Valyard?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that he's worried about becoming the Valyard, or he's not even in his mind?
It's not even in his mind. I don't think so.
What do you think he's worried about? Do you think that he knows that Clara's going to die and that's what he's bothering him?
Yeah.
That could be. Tell her? When is he going to flat out tell her?
I'm not sure.
And when did he go to find out when she died? Did he find out after last Christmas? Did he just decide, hey, let me go see go look ahead?
Yeah, he probably jumped ahead somewhere after last Christmas.
So he's feeling guilty because he cheated, and now he's having adventures with her where he don't know what to do. Like, he can't think straight because she shouldn't be with him in the first place. Or he could alter her dying because she could die right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you say?
I don't know. I'm
He
not
knows
sure.
the Clara's dying, right? Because he keeps mentioning stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
What?
I don't think he does.
But why does he want her to just stay behind? He keeps trying to convince her to leave her.
Because he's getting
Close to her?
Yeah.
I think he's starting to get
He just doesn't
paranoid
want to
that
see
something's going to happen to her. Like, stuff has happened to his past companions. I think he's starting to get like, you know, something's happened to them. Something could happen to her, so I'm just going to keep an eye
So
on
it's
her.
not like he's in love with her or anything. It's just
I don't think so.
he's just so much of a friend with her that he don't want her to die.
Yeah.
But then why would have a companion at all then?
How much did Myra do for him?
Why have a companion at all then?
I'm sorry, I think that's what you said. I just thought maybe in case you
You know?
he was thinking he died.
Who
Hold
knows?
on. All right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight's episode. We're going to go with the everything show now. So, thank you, Daniel.
Do you think we're going to see the Valyard come back, like the actual actor come back?
I think it's a possibility.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
But how old is he now? Is he like he's retired, right?
He did the audio, The Trial of the Valyard, which was a sequel to Trial of the Time Lord, and he already did another audio with the Six Doctors proper regeneration for the audios. Like, in other words, there's this whole thing, this battle with the Valyard where he gets hurt, and then when we see him in the TARDIS regenerates because he was not necessarily banging into the TARDIS wall, but because he was hurt. So, supposedly that's what it's supposed to be. You know. All right, guys, this is going to be it. So, we're going to do everything show now. So, take care. Bye for now, guys.